This channel's a year old, and it's finally time to start working on a car. Have you ever wondered why this channel is called Paul's Garage, other than I'm Paul and this is my garage? Well, it's because I wanted to originally start working on cars. It's been kind of a long road to even get to the start of that. All the skills that I've tried learning, like casting and sheet metal and all that, those are all things you do when you're working on a car, not casting. That was kind of a rabbit hole, admittedly, although you can use casting. Tangent. Moving on. They've all been focused on cars, working on a car. But now winter's almost here, and I finally have room in the garage, so we're going to start working on a car. Now, how do you pick a project car? It's a very good question. A lot of people just pick something cool, but if you think about it, a first project car, you might screw it up, so it shouldn't be anything too valuable. It shouldn't be too expensive, certainly. It should be something fairly common, so you can get parts, so you can get information. Hopefully, it will never have been in an accident or been subject to really bad body shop rust repair. More preferably, it should run and drive and maybe not have so many bugs that you have to figure out. Ideally, it should be all of those things. Plus, it should be free. I should already own it. It should already be here. And it's this van. Hear me out. There's a reason for this. I can already hear what you're saying. Vans are dumb. Why do a van? You should do a Camaro. Well, guess what? Camaros aren't free. No one gave me one. This van is free. It was given to me many years ago by my parents when I was in college. Used it a bit in high school. I needed a car. Anyway, I drove it for years. This fits all the criteria. It's American. I'm in America, so parts are everywhere. It's super common. No rare parts anywhere. Never been in an accident in 30 years. And I know none of the rust has been hidden by bad body shop repair, because it really didn't start rusting until I started driving it when it was 20 years old, and I was too broke to take it to a body shop. It also already runs and drives. I drove it in here. I certainly didn't push it, otherwise I'd be in a wheelchair right now. You might be upset if I chose whatever car you want me to do. A Yenko Corvair or something. Something weird. Might have trouble getting parts. I'm a noob, so I might ruin it, and then you'd be upset I went to the scrapyard. No one's going to care if another Ford Econoline goes to the scrapyard. So with that out of the way, let's look at what we got. As you can see, it is a 1987 Econoline 150. It's painted in multiple colors, all of which are brown. This is the original color, dark walnut metallic. Surprisingly rust-free in the corners where you usually find things rusty. The fender doesn't have any holes in it, or the body for that matter. This might not be a shock to you, but remember, this is Wisconsin. Everything has holes in it. I took off this running board. It was in my way. American Racing aluminum wheels that look terrible from all the years of salt. Here's the major rust. The rear door is leaked, and the floor under there, and this sill's basically gone. The door is also kind of rusty. You can see the Ford emblem. It's not there anymore. I shut the door, and it fell off. Sweet ladder on the back. In the very back, custom closets and a cooler. Check that out. If I open that, all the plastic's going to shatter, so we're going to leave that shut. This is worth looking at. Gauges and R12, some of the last remaining R12 in history. This is not a strange exhaust pipe. That is a Polaroid Class 5 load distributing hitch. I'm a bit tight on this side of the garage, probably going to work on the other side first. Sliding door, big windows. But on this side, we have a problem. A leaky window has created some rust that will need to be fixed. Tight in the front, but look, extra running lights. They're on this side too. Pretty sure that's legal. No cop has stopped me yet. Sure makes all the lights inside dim when I turn them on though. PV blaster, been very helpful so far. Under the hood, I have this nifty light that drains the battery for me, which is great. Huge air filter. Back there somewhere is a Windsor 302, fuel injected. This nasty mass of wiring, fuses, and relays is mostly not my fault. Why are you asking questions? Are you a cop? Legally, you have to tell me if you're a cop. There's some light. You like my drop light? It's just a fluorescent fixture that I'm holding. All of these boxes and pipes and stuff, that's the intake. Isn't that nuts? It's like 10 feet of intake. If you're knowledgeable about truck 302s, you might spot something strange down there. Maybe. Alright, we're shutting this. It's cold. Cold in here. The interior is beautifully finished in more brown. Sun-faded wooden dash. Pinstripe chairs. Check out all these buttons. You know this thing's loaded with interior lights. There's a television in there. Check it out. Lights. Those probably don't. Dome lights. Backlights. More backlights. Running lights in the windows. is lights galore, and all of them drain the battery. The interior decor style has not aged well, if you ask me, but we are pretty well equipped. Trailer brake controller, heated seat, driver only, fancy sound system with missing speaker covers, fancy lockbox containing mystery. I haven't opened it in many years. I took some more pictures as well. Here's the crackled paint on the hood. This is what happens when you're towing way too much weight and you decide just to floor it and ignore the temperature gauge. Here you can see the top quality Ford panel gaps creating chipped paint where rust can form. Same thing happened here, only I patched this. I think I was a teenager when I did this, so it's very ugly, but it didn't rust again. So, win? This is what happens when you get a chip from like a door ding and you don't fix it for 10 years. Kinda wish I did. I also had a look underneath. The frame had been undercoated many years ago, and it's pretty good looking, as you can see. Some surface rust, but that's about it. Here's my wonderful oil containment system. It's filling up quite quickly, alarmingly quickly. Here's a shot of the underside of the engine on the left, transmission on the right, and it's all covered in oil. Might explain why there's not so much rust. Everything's plastered in oil. The exhaust is mostly gone. As you can see, it just kind of ends. If I had to guess, I would say it's in a ditch in upstate New York somewhere. Here's a frame and the floor and the gas tank. Looks pretty good. Much better than I thought it would. Fringes of the body, however, not so good. This is about the worst spot I could find. You might be asking, do I have the ability to fix this? No, I most certainly do not. However, there's a guy I know who does body work. He is insanely good and also a little insane in the head. And he says you acquire those kind of skills by taking on those kind of challenges. So that's what I'm doing. Most of the body isn't that bad. It looks kind of like this, you know. It's shockingly solid. This shows you something cool about the rear hitch here. The pivot point between the trailer and the truck is the rear axle. That makes it much more stable in wind and stuff, and that's good because I don't want to get a light breeze and then die. Well, there you have it. You've seen the van, and if you're not convinced entirely now that this is the best project I could undertake, what more do you want from me? I'm not selling you anything. You watch this for free. The goal here is to fearlessly dive into all the many things that I don't know how to do and test them out on this van first. If I finish it and it's not in a scrap yard or on fire, then I'll have a tow vehicle. This will be able to tow a car trailer quite easily with a car on it. I know this because we used to tow a camper with it, and the camper was heavier than a car trailer plus a car, and it was fine. Also, if I get it done and it can tow a car trailer, then I can take the car trailer, go and get a new project and tow it back here. But that'll probably be a while, like many years. I started driving this thing when I was 16, so I kind of have a sentimental attachment. Value, the tires are still good. Might be able to sell those for 50 bucks, but that's about the only value in an old van like this, so I don't have to be afraid of ruining stuff. I'm going to try not to ruin it. I'm going to try to make it nice. I really don't know how these videos are going to pan out, or if there will even be that many of them. Probably because I'll be in rust patching nightmare land for like ever. If you have any ideas for the direction you want this project to go in, and not push it off a cliff and go buy something else. Where I live in Wisconsin, there are no cliffs. Impossible. But if you have any real suggestions, leave them in the comments. For inspiration, I watched a documentary called Vannin, looked at some custom vans, and decided I do not want to draw inspiration from like any of those. So yeah, I'm just going to fix it up, paint it brown, and then tow stuff with it. That's my current idea. But if you have anything better, let me know.